Hello and welcome to the Postgrad here. Today we're going to be talking about the Commonplace book. This is a binder, actually. And that is because this is the Commonplace Binder 101. So we are roughly 1/6 of the way through this playlist of 100 videos, which is kind of insane, but I think as of the time you are seeing this, I should have about a third of them done. So hopefully I will be at around number 32. But it is exciting because I've been doing one recording, and then the second recording, and then 2 recordings at once, and then 4 recordings at once. Last time I did 8, and I feel like that might be too many, because these videos end up being about 1 minute per note card. So I don't really want to record something 20 minutes long times 16. So because I did 8 last time, doing 16 this time. But I think I'm going to break it up into chunks 4, because that's a lot easier. But yeah. Hello, welcome. Hello and welcome, that's true. But also, hello, wealthy intellectuals, because who has a commonplace, if not wealthy intellectuals? Maybe just BookTube? I'm not really sure. So, there is no need to overcomplicate it. Oh. Oh man, I'm overcomplicating my speech. There's no need to overcomplicate it. And I actually saw somebody talking about this on Reddit earlier today, which is pretty funny because I don't use Reddit, but every so often I will check the Commonplace tab. And by every so often, I mean once a week. So I guess I do use it, but I don't have an account. Really just looking around to see if there's anything hilarious in there. So this is supposed to be a modern history of Commonplace binders. So why am I not showing a binder? Why is there not a history? What do you mean a modern history? What's going on here? Okay, so a Commonplace book is basically a bunch of different things put together. So some people might say that it's like a notebook and a journal, maybe a sketchbook. I don't know, maybe it's somewhere between a scrapbook and an album. Maybe it's something that's split off from a scrapbook and an album. Maybe it's just quotes. Who knows? It all depends on the definition. So the Commonplace binder, it also kind of depends on the definition, because this, you might just say it's a binder. You could just say I'm taking notes. So like, why why do we have to get so academic about this? But we're going to go through this one at a time. I'm sorry for taking up so much time at the beginning. Now we are going to get through this, and I'm going to go through the videos like normal. I just want to add, if I happen to include this in the thumbnail, this is what's here. This was my way of trying to keep time. So it's my version of an hourglass, and sometimes I keep it by my desk. It's also quite fun. If people get distracted during a video call, I can just be like, whoa, look at that. So I think I'm going to set this down pretty soon. But I have been trying to figure out where I could keep this, where it wouldn't be too distracting, but people could see the little bubble forming. Oh, look at that. It's going to be quite good in about 20 seconds, I think. I haven't held this in a while. So I guess we could try to do this while I'm holding this. So, hello, wealthy intellectuals. That's because I think mostly wealthy people have free time now. Nobody else really does. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is gorgeous. It's about to hit the top. And yeah, once it does, I will put that down. Okay, so thank you for having the free time to watch all of that. History starts today. Why is that? Because now there is finally a video on the Commonplace binder. It's nothing special, really. I will say that it's something special because for me, it is part of my well, I don't see school mentioned here. It might be, but in the future I will be talking about my school project and how the binder integrates into that. Basically, like a massive cheat sheet, which this also serves the purpose of, because now I know what to talk about rather than rambling, as I did in the beginning of the video. So, history starts today. That's right, we're going to get it done. Aristocratic Morals. If you have a book or a binder or a database or anything, and the only people who pass it on are the rich people, or you know, the rich, powerful, well-connected, and people with friends in high places. Yeah, morals that will be passed on will only be the aristocratic ones. Or, I mean, like, I feel like I don't have to explain this. But just in case someone's wondering, like, oh, why do all the people from this specific time period have the same viewpoint? I wonder. Expensive stationery. Maybe it's because stationery has not always been cheap. Took a sweatshirt off during another video. I'm not sure if it was allowed, so I'm going to move that out of the frame. I feel like that might be scandalous. Removing articles of clothing. Questionable. Highly questionable. Yeah. Just for show. So why do we have binders, or books, or journals, or whatever we want to call them, if they're just a prop? Like, if they're just like this, you know, like, that's cool, that's pretty. Look at that. What is this? I have no idea. But why? Why? It's about to do the cool thing. Look at that. I don't super want to watch the videos where it's just for show. I want to see the inside. Maybe I should open this up a little bit so you can see. This is kind of a mess. Like, that's... I'm doing something with this. You can see that. I think most of the people who show their books are doing something with them, but I feel like most of it is just for show. It's kind of awkward. So, what is a commonplace book or a commonplace binder? Well, it's basically a thing which has various definitions, as it has existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, depending on the definition. But basically, before computers, before giant databases, before we could store stuff in the cloud, which is not an actual cloud in the sky, just in case anyone's confused about that. Yeah. It was like your Pinterest or your Tumblr or whatever else. I guess Obsidian, Evernote, forget all the other ones right now. But that's not really the point. The point is, it's just where you keep all your highest quality information. And if you have notes or a journal or a diary, I mean, some people will say it's all about other people's information. Some people will say it's about how you turn other people's information into your own thoughts. And then some people will say it's only your own thoughts. But, like, it's mostly the place where things go when they don't fit in another place. So you could say it's like the space in between spaces. Just check the wiki, okay? Or, like, Google it. Like, it's... I'm not gonna... I feel like claiming a specific and precise definition is kind of like saying one food is the best food in the entire world. Yeah, so there are a lot of volumes. Just like with the Aristocratic Morals, if you are only passing on one or two or whatever, they're not going to be a lot of different versions. Now, if the stationery isn't very expensive, then you might have a whole bunch of different volumes, because you might be like, ooh, I can print. Oh, I can print! I don't just need to handwrite things anymore, which means I have unlimited information to share with all of you. But that can also be a problem, because then you'll fill your room with like 30 books and be like, oh no, what have I done? That's kind of a problem. No time for review. That is precisely why that's a problem. Well, also the fact that you will have no room in your room, which is kind of a problem because that's your space, and you're supposed to have space in your space. But yeah, no time for review. I have stuff that's more than 5 years old that I haven't checked. Not a single time. And that's a huge problem. So in the first year of doing this, I made, I believe, 133 pages. Sounds like a lot. It was a lot. But I also couldn't print. So it's a lot easier for me to type than it is for me to handwrite. Like, substantially easier. And there is also the copy-paste function, but, you know, try to consider that something else, and that's more my personal knowledge base, you know, PKB database management thing. But yeah, stuff gets left behind. And so what do we do when the stuff gets left behind? Well, that depends on the person. So what do you do if you have 2,000 bookmarks on your computer? Your browser's probably going to lag like crazy. I've done that, and I went through all of them because I was too afraid of losing some of the stuff. Now, most people don't do that. Most people will be like, I saved so much crap, it's not even worth going through. Like, I'm not going to look through it, I'm not going to transfer the links. I don't care. It's slowing the stuff down, and they'll just delete it. And so that will save a lot of time, because if it wasn't important, it's gone, and if it was important, they'll probably find it again later. Because you just got to focus on the stuff that's true and relevant. Now, it's nice to have true stuff, or factually accurate information. I definitely appreciate that. The problem is sometimes it gets outdated. And so it might have been true in the past, but it might not be true now. So you might need to add a lot of dates to things. And how's my monitor? The light sources are gone. Too much monologuing at the beginning. But yeah, just make sure your stuff is true and relevant. If you're quoting someone, like earlier, I was kind of referencing a video I saw from a person from Australia when I was talking about a Commonplace book being like in between 3 different things of a journal, a notebook, and a sketchbook. I believe that was an Australian person making a YouTube video on Commonplacing. When I was talking about Commonplace books, scrapbooks, and albums, that was related to Gillian M. Hess. And the book, let's see if I can remember it, How Romantics and Victorians Organize Information. I got it, okay. So the first time I said that in a video, I said it wrong to try to make myself not seem like somebody in an ivory tower, but I realized that's more of a crabs in a bucket mentality, and I'm not really supposed to be doing that. Not anymore, because I'm going to get stuff done. I am going to do this entire playlist. And then the second time I referenced it in another video, I forgot, because my brain got scrambled when I got sick for like months. But I actually got it this time, so that's cool. The world keeps changing, and so will your brain. Sometimes your brain's not going to work so great, and other times it's going to work better than average. And so normally people get a little bit slower as they get older, especially past 80. It's like, you're alive. Cool. Like, nobody really expects the brain to be super powered. Yours might be. Maybe. Probably not. You know, I'm hopeful I make it to my 80s. I don't know. And, yeah. In the modern era, people are more likely to live to 80 than they used to be, which is quite nice. I would like it if I didn't have to worry about robots doing scam calls and all that other nonsense, which I'm sure is going to get a lot worse if I actually end up with a big pile of money. I don't have one of those right now. But that's fine. A deluge of data is what I work with all day, every day. Going through the binder, going through YouTube videos. It's kind of weird to have to watch content to make content. Now, technically, I have watched well over 10,000 videos, so I should probably just make this stuff. But I kind of feel like I have to keep up. You know, I have to keep it modern. But I don't know. What do you do with the deluge of data? Maybe you automatically erase things from your brain because there's so many ads that it's like, well, you know, it went one ear and out the other, and that's actually a feature. That's not a bug. We're just we're trying to erase everything in there, and we're just going to record all the information. We're going to hope we don't lose access to our recording, and if we need to do any thinking, we'll just use a bot. You know, that's AI, great. And that's kind of why this time is different. Because we have the bots. We have created something that is not necessarily smarter than people. But in terms of total general knowledge of like any category, it's probably a little bit ahead. Now, I'm not going to trust it to do math, because if we're looking for creative or hallucinogenic realities, then I guess, you know, the hallucinations are fine. But, you know, for something like math, that's probably not great. But that might change over time. I don't know. I haven't been doing any reading into it. So I guess if you have any good books that somebody should look at if they're looking into this sort of thing, you know, you can place those down below in the comments. But I haven't really been reading much because I've been watching the videos to keep up to make these videos at least sort of relevant to what's going on. I should have checked the date as to when this is going to go live. I think it's going to be in March because I think I started this playlist at the end of January or 1 week before that. So that would mean this video should be the 3rd week of March. But I don't know. Because I didn't check ahead of time. And I should have done that because I feel like it'd be good to make some future predictions, see what's going to happen. You know, like in a few days, for me, there's going to be presidential inauguration. And we'll see if anything gets too crazy. It is January, so there's always so much news in January. You know, in June, it's like everybody fell asleep. Like, nobody knows what the news is, nobody cares. But in January, every single year, everything goes crazy. So, you know, if you want to get into the news at any point in the year, you know, probably pick January, because something crazy is going to happen. Designated people. Yeah, so I don't want to be the designated news person. At one point, I thought about streaming some news on Twitch. That's not for me. So not only is the platform not for me, I don't like being on a stream. I prefer a recording because a recording actually lasts, and you know, you can show it then, but you can also show it later. And so I feel like if you're just streaming it, unless you're actually engaging with your viewers, there's not really a point. But you know, you need a specific number of viewers. You know, like if you have a really low number, it's just not worth looking at the chat. And if you have a really high number, it's also not worth looking at the chat. So it's like, you gotta be in the sweet spot. And I don't know about that. There are also the morals, the ethical considerations. Why would I stream? Do I just want to have the parasocial relationship? I mean, I'm kind of doing that right now. Hello! I don't know, but, you know, the morals of a commonplace book or commonplace binder, sorry, we're supposed to be on that topic. We're supposed to talk about this thing. The morality of making this is somewhat questionable. Why are we chopping down all the forest on the planet? Didn't really word that properly, but, you know, there's been a lot of crazy political news lately, because it's January, and definitely saw something from Indonesia, or the Indonesian president, or at least from Wiki current events. The president of Indonesia was saying something about deforestation, which I thought was very intriguing. You know, what do you do when there are no observers? What happens when no one watches your book? I don't know. No, the same thing that happens right now. So I'm going to be super casual. I'm not going to pay attention to stuff a whole lot. I'm going to try to give you the video that you deserve. Sorry. I just feel like I have to add citations to everything now. Like, oh, that's related to a Bo Burnham thing I saw. Because I have been emailing a professor a little bit. I've been sending some emails. Only received one back, but I did receive one back, so that's cool. Maybe it was 2. I think it was just 1. But yeah, what do you do when nobody's watching? Do you cut down the whole forest? Turn it all into commonplace books or commonplace binders? Thought my tag was showing. No, it's not. That's good. It was in one video, and nobody said anything. Or at least, I don't think anyone said anything. It might be because that video's not out yet. But it was really bugging me when I was watching it later. Handwritten. So, it might be that if you see handwriting, it looks super cool. Maybe I can show you the handwriting I have for this video. Look at that. Is that reversed? Oh, I hope that's not reversed. But basically, that's just some stuff to remind me for the set of 4 videos, because I haven't used the whiteboard in a while, and I figured it'd be good to use that. But yeah, what do you do with the handwriting? Do you convert it into text? Like actual printed information that, you know, is saved and replicatable and shareable and all the other things that we seem to need now? Or do you just leave it as handwriting that maybe not even you can understand? I don't know. But yeah, this relates to starting, because when people start to learn things in school. We normally focus on handwriting, and some people go into cursive, but really we just want to make sure that people can write their name because that's really important. And they need to be able to learn a bunch of things at the very beginning, like the shape of letters and what they mean and how they go together, and like you got to do all the stuff. It's also kind of cool to feel the texture of the pencil on the page or the crayon. Yeah, the locals say crayon, and I live near the crayon factory, so sorry, it's it's not crayon around here, or just crayon. I've heard some people say crown. I haven't heard that in real life, or maybe I have, but it was a long time ago. Maybe I need a tutorial on how to say crayon. But yeah, if you are interested in using some of my tutorials, which will be way more effective than this video, as this was definitely a ramble, partially because this is kind of a made-up title. Like, what does this mean? What does this do? A modern history of commonplace binders. So, I have this. I put out a video where this was empty, and I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna show you a commonplace binder. That's pretty cool. A person made a video right after that on basically the same thing. That one did a lot better, but I think they had like 20 times as many subscribers at the time, so I guess that makes sense. And there was another commonplace book video which included the word binder before my thing, but they were just going through their stuff because it's just a commonplace book. Like, this is this is just a commonplace book. I'm just labeling it differently. It is technically in a binder, but does that really matter? No, it doesn't. This is a notebook, plain and simple. If you treat it like a sketchbook, that is fine. If you buy a sketchbook but you use it as a notebook, that's also okay. Like, the modern history of this is kind of irrelevant. Like, just do your thing. So I hope to see you in the next video, or at least in the comments. That could be quite fun. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good day, and don't feel pressured to click this. I want to make that clear. I want to be better at the mental health process, not just keeping the loop going. Watch my entire playlist. No, you don't have to. Get a snack. Take a shower. Get some sleep. I don't know. I'll see you later. Goodbye.